is Tracy Blackman. I'm the owner of Self-Generating Power Systems and Innovative Self-Generating Energy Systems. I'm an inventor. Got several patents on some renewable energy systems. And I'm trying to help in the Gulf of Mexico for the oil spill. I'm trying to put this video together pretty quickly, so I didn't have a whole lot of time to get it all together, but I wanted to try to do something as quickly as possible. I want to show you an idea that I have, and I hope maybe that they can use this out at the rig where the well is, and hopefully capture some of this oil that's being released all around the well head at the bottom. I believe they're siphoning some of the oil through a pipe coming from the ocean a mile down. I think I have a way of catching what's being not caught, that's being released around the pipe. And I think I have a solution for that, and I want to show you what it is and hopefully get some interest. Alright, I had talked about, got a new idea to try to help solve the problem with the oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico by BP. And now I'm going to show you what I've got and hopefully get this out to the media and to BP, and hopefully they will see that I can solve this problem, and I believe I do have the answer to it. So let me show you what I've got, and hopefully they see what I think I have. Thank you. Alright, here we go. This is going to represent the pipe going down to the ocean floor that is a well by BP. This here is the bottom of the ocean, let's just say. This is a flex hose pipe. It's sort of like a vent pipe you would use, say for a dryer, so on and so forth, for your washer and dryer in your house. It's a flex pipe. And the idea here, of course, it has a boot that would go over the entire pipe that is, taking the oil from the bottom of the ocean. And this has a receiver, and it has a rubber boot on the bottom of it, which it could have a band, and it can have tightened screws that would be just like a pipe clamp, what have you, and robotics can tighten the boot over the pre-existing housing that's down there that's holding the pipe. Now the idea is to drop this down over the pipe, down to the bottom of the ocean, set it down over the base, tighten the rubber boot tight so it stops the leak of the oil. Now the oil will cause this to rise. You can have, I don't have it on here, but you can have a way of reducing the diameter of the top so the pressure of the oil will make it rise, and as it comes up, coming from the bottom all the way to the surface, say from the bottom of the ocean up. Alright, now we're showing the flex hose pipe coming from the ocean floor, say, if this were, this is a demonstration of how it can be done. This flex pipe goes over the pre-existing pipe and goes over the housing of the boot at the bottom with a rubber seal that can have a expansion joint that you can tighten up and squeeze the rubber boot to make the oil stop seeping out. The oil will cause this flex hose to expand and come back to the surface of the ocean. Once it comes to the surface, it would have a rubber boot in which the housing at the top would go into. Now this, of course, has the pipe protruding from it, and we can use this pipe here as a demonstration. This pipe, of course, would be the part of the pipe that's coming out from the ocean floor, and it's going into a barge or a tanker or what have you. The idea here is to catch the oil that's being spewed out of the bottom of the pipe now and caught inside this housing, which is a flex hose. And you can take hoses such as these that would be connected to valves, and you got some turn on and off valves. Of course, these are just demonstrations, but the hoses can, of course, be connected just like this on this side, and you can have a hose on this side. And of course, the hose can go to storage tanks, barges, whatever it is you want to connect it to store the oil. And the idea here is, of course, you're always siphoning oil out of the top into a main barge, and this is catching all the oil that's being spewed at the bottom and it goes into, it can go into the same barge or separate barge or whatever. The whole idea though is stopping the spill from spewing out of the bottom, and I think this would do it because you've got the main source of oil coming through the main pipe. You have the oil that's not being caught by the main pipe in the housing that's going around the center pipe. Now you've got another pipe that's larger diameter with a pipe in the middle of it taking oil. Now you have the oil that's being spewed out of the bottom within this housing, and it's not going to be much pressure on it because of the fact that you can have the pressure release until it gets to the surface. You just want enough pressure to bring it to the surface, or you can manually bring it to the surface with cables and pulleys and so on and so forth. The main thing is to get it to the surface, connect it to your boot or a connection at the top that can be mounted to the rig or what have you. And then you could have pumps and so on and so forth that would then connect the other lines that I'm showing here that would go to, say, your other storage area. Alright, here's the flex hose. I'll show it to you right here. The rubber boot, the housing, you take it, it would go over the pipe that's already pre-existing. Alright, here's the flex hose housing, just like this. It would slide over the main pipe, which is BP's well. It will slide down with cable control, taking it down to the bottom. Alright. The flex hose slides down main well shaft and goes over the main housing on the boot here, and it slides down over it. It has a rubber boot which will slip over the main housing here. Once you get this sealed, you can use robotics to tighten a band that's inside this housing. It would actually tighten the rubber boot around the base of the main well. Once that's tightened, then you can have a valve up here that could actually close an orifice, which I don't have on this demonstration, but it's very simple to do, and let the pressure of the oil being captured now bring this sleeve up. Or you can still manually bring it back up with cables if you want, either way. Point is, you're bringing the oil being lost now into this housing, and this housing is quite large compared to the pipe. So it would come straight up. As it comes to the surface, you would cap it here, siphon off the fuel. Alright, now as you see, the flex hose comes up to the surface from the inner oil being filled within the orifice, comes up, and it comes to a boot already on the main pipe, and it goes into the boot, slides in as so, and then of course you would have an inner band that would be tightened from the surface to seal it. And then once this is sealed and locked in place, you now have oil coming from this pipe that's going to the ocean floor. You have all the oil being spewed from the bottom of the well coming into this big flex hose that can handle the oil coming up through it. As the oil comes up, you never let too much pressure build because you have the release valve for pressure here. 2 hoses, or you could have 4 hoses, many as you want. And you have valves to cut them on and off, so in case for some reason you need to stop it or whatever you need to do, you need to bring one in, one out. You may have to have a storage container on this side, and you need to move one from this side. So you could shut the valve off here, on or off, and it would stop the flow on this side, but yet still let it release on this side. So you never let the pressure build up to damage the device. So that's the idea, but it would relieve the pressure that you're relieving the pressure here through the main line, and now all the oil, that's so much pressure they can't cap, you're catching all that oil through this flex hose, and you're still releasing the pressure because it's never building up enough. You get several different lines to get the oil out and put it into storage, wherever you may want to put it. And you have control with the valves to adjust wherever you want to send it. So I think this will solve the problem, and I'm more than positive that it would solve the problem. And I hope someone will take a look at this with BP and the government, and let's just let's solve this problem. Let's get this oil stopped. Let's get it out of the Gulf of Mexico. Clean it up.